folks. How y'all doing? Trent Clark here with Mallett Buildings. Happy Thursday to you today. We're going to be talking about three classic builds here. Matthew O'Pryor, Ricky Davenport, and James Bertrand. But before we do that, like always, I want to show you, we got 108 jobs going on. Nice map, shows you all what's going on in the territory. If you don't know, we cover around a 200-mile territory from Iowa, Louisiana. So we'll kind of reach out about 200 miles. We have been known to push outside of that. So if you are outside of that, go ahead and give us a call and we'll look and see what you got. But it depends on location, but we have pushed out of that 200 plus mile radius around from right here in Iowa, Louisiana. So just to show you, we do have a lot going on, and this is every week, folks. Our scheduling department is busy all the time. And look, when we have weather delays, I mean it really shifts things up. It takes a powerful company in order to be able to orchestrate the type of scheduling that we do in order to try to keep things moving along on the process for your buildings. But we got 108 jobs going on this week. 78 of those jobs are in Louisiana, and another 27 of those jobs are in Texas. Like I said, anywhere from delivering your building, sending a QC guy out there after your building's been built, concrete, gutters, control joints, electrical, somewhere, somehow we're doing, all those jobs every week. Okay, why Mallett? We talked about this, the other day, and a marketing team is making a great slide coming up. So be looking for that in the future. But it kind of shows you the value from the rival building to the classic building. Okay, there is a in-between number here. Like I pointed out the other day on a 30 by 50 basic building, these are about $2,300 apart. If you were to go to, this is about $2,300 more on a 30 by 50 to go with the classic. The rival is something that we came up with to compete with our competitors, okay? Because they give you a lower end building, and so we needed to compete with that because we didn't want to lose any business. Now, I don't want to sell you that rival building, but if your budget can't allow you to go up a couple of $1,000s, which actually the value of that 30 by 50 building is about $78,000 to $8,000 difference, okay? But when you quote it, when I quote it to you, it's only $2,300 difference. And I'll tell you why. So the rival and our competitors are going to give you 29 gauge metal, a 4-on-12 roof pitch, 2x6 scissor truss, common flat truss, 130 mile an hour wind. Okay, rating. That's important. No uplift control, absolutely none. Okay, our competitors don't do it. Posts in the dirt, not on top of gravel or a concrete pad. Okay, 2x8 headers, 3,000 psi, no ground protection, limited warranty. And number two, they normally are going to use number 2 grade wood. Maybe their truss are going to be number 1. I'm not sure, and they don't really spell it out for you in their spec sheets. But this is our building to go up against the rival building. The difference between that, okay, is on a Mallett building, a true Mallett building, you're going to get 26 gauge metal, 5-on-12 roof pitch. We got to change this. On the classics, it's 2x6 truss, third party inspected, 170 mile an hour wind rating on our truss system, okay? That's not the building, that's the truss system. 140 mile an hour wind load though on the classic. See the difference? 130, 140. That's a big difference, and it can save you a lot of money in insurance. Mallett cable lock system. Nobody does that. It's where we put that aircraft cable underneath there. That's why it's called the Mallett cable lock, because Lee and his engineers came up with it years ago, and it works, folks. It controls the uplift protection of your building by all the aircraft cable that we put underneath that slab, tied to all your posts, anchored in all of your posts. That uplift Mallett cable lock is very important. concrete under every post. So we put an 80-pound bag of dry concrete under every post. That concrete is going to set from the moisture of the ground, but more importantly, you got aggregate underneath that post, okay? That's gonna you know, control your sinking, maybe swaying, stuff like that of your building. It's very important, you know, and it costs money to do this, and we do it on the Mallett Building. 2x12 headers. Remember, there are competitors in the rival building. You're going to get 2x8 headers. Look, it's all about strength, folks. It's all about strength. We want to build you a building one time that lasts a lifetime for you and your you know, when you're gone, and then give it to your kids. Whereas our competitors, they might want to build you a building every time a hurricane comes in. You know, I'm just saying, 2x12 headers is way superior than 2x8. 4,000 psi plus microfiber, 3,000 psi. Skirt board guards, that's going to, you know, your grade board's going to get you concrete. All right, we want to protect that from your concrete, so we give you the skirt board guard on that, and it also protects it from the soil. Now, you might ask yourself, why would you need that if everything we use is MCA ground treated lumber? Because chemicals in the concrete can disrupt that lumber, all right, over time. 4-year workmanship warranty. You got a limited warranty over here. I don't know, that's up to you. Figure out what that means to you. If your building starts leaking in 3 years because a screw unsealed, workmanship warranty will go back out there and fix it. Now, if something flies on the roof and hits it, that's not a workmanship warranty, folks. But just so you know, number one, MCA ground treated dry kiln lumber, in-house engineering and design on all your buildings. That's the main difference between the rival and the classic. All right. Now, like every day, we like to start out and give you our $500 discount. We're proud of that. We give that to our customers that are in healthcare workers, first responders, military personnel, and educators. Okay. I'm not sure if our competitors do that, but we do. If you're one of these people and want to buy a building, get you an extra $500 off, folks. We're giving you money. All right. Now, if you want to upgrade to a signature or an elite series, type in cash to a live feed like this and get an extra $1,000 off of your building. Okay. Now, February specials, we're going through, these are the classics, and you're getting free insulation on classic with 1,000 square foot and above. For instance, this is a 30 by 40 by 12 for $29,499, and we're giving you insulation. That's more like a, I want to say somewhere around a couple of $1,000 discount that we're giving you in this building. Okay, in the classic building, you're going to get 2x6 scissor truss, 5-on-12 roof pitch. This is a 140 mile an hour rated building, 26 gauge metal, double 2x12 headers, concrete pad under every post. You're going to get the cable lock system that we just talked about, walk-through door, skirt board guard, engineer, and one roll-up door. Okay? Always, we've been running this for about 4 months now. These little Cajun Oasis is selling like crazy, and we're thinking about taking it off. So if you want to take advantage of this, now's the time. And let me tell you something, metal prices are going up too, folks. If you've been on the fence about a building, now is the best time to do this. Let's lock your buildings in. You got a 30 by 50 by 12 for $49,999. This is the classic, okay? This is the bottom tier of the Mallett building, okay? Which is way superior than our competitors or the rival building ever could be. All right? For $49,999, we're going to throw in a air conditioning system, and we're going to throw in a basic electrical package. That's a $10,000 value, if not more, that we're throwing in on that. Actually, it's more like a $16,000 value that we're throwing in on this. Now, we also have one like this with the Elite, which is going to get you all the bells and whistles, gutters, 6-inch concrete, which, by the way, the other day, our engineer told us, I used to say it was 1.5 times stronger than 4-inch, but it's 2 times stronger, folks, 2 times. So the difference is each time you get you know, from the classic to the signature to the elite, you're getting something better and better. And when you look at the price is different on the bottom, but when you see the value that you're getting from moving from, say, like the rival to the classic, like the illustration I showed you a while ago, you know, it's $7,800 if you were to add all that stuff. But when you just quoting it, you know, and you go with the classic, it's $2,300 difference. So why wouldn't you take $5,000 that we're giving you? I'm just saying it's worth the upgrades. The upgrades, each tier of the building, you're getting far more stuff, okay? Just like when you get into the elite, the building rating is better. So the classic, you're going to get 140. You're on the signature, you're going to get 150, and the elites, you're going to get 160. Okay, this is something that we just engineered and got it to this. So you're getting a benefit each time you graduate to a better building. The elite building, same as the Cajun Oasis on the classic, same size, 30 by 50 by 12, $59,999, but you're getting $16,000 worth of electrical package and AC in this building, folks. So great little package. I'm kind of tired of seeing it though. We might be getting away and coming up with something new. So if you want this, now's the time to get it. All right. 5 red flags. Always like to talk about this. Years in business, folks. You can find this out at the Secretary of State website. If you're searching to do business with somebody, look them up on the Secretary of State website. If their name's not there, they don't have a business license. Okay, that's the one red flag. But if their name is there, how many years have they been in business? Okay, that's very important. Like I said, we've already had one post frame builder this year go out of business. So pick a company that's going to be here for the long haul, especially if they're telling you that they have workmanship warranties, like we give a 10-year workmanship with our elite. If somebody's only been in business for a year, how can they do that? If they're going to tell you a 10-year warranty, workmanship warranty, how can they do it? Especially if they're going out of business every year. All right, so that's very important. How many years they've been in business? Red flag number 1. Red flag number 2, make sure they got the proper licensure. Okay? You could find that out on the LSLBC website, and you're going to find out if they are a contractor. Okay? That's red flag number 2. That same website, any violations. I'm here to tell you, folks, that most all of our competition has some type of violation. I'm not saying that, you know, everybody, you know, makes a mistake and they should get, you know, you should maybe give them a chance. I'm not saying that, but they should devote that information to you. I'm proud to say after 27 years that this company has no contractor violations. Okay, we try to uphold and do what we say we're going to do, folks. All right, that's very important. You know, reviews on BBB and Google, we got over 650 plus reviews. Most of our competitors are not associated with the BBB. I haven't seen a lot of reviews on there. You know, you may say to yourself, well, reviews don't matter, but I believe they do, folks, because if you have over 650 like us, that says something about a company that you can trust that company to do what they say they're going to do for you, okay? And then visit the contractor's facility, folks. Look, bottom line is, if you're signing a contract or you're talking to your builder in the front seat of their vehicle and you look around and all their tools are scattered around everywhere and that's their office, that might be a red flag. That's all we're saying. We want you to come here. We want you to visit our facility. We want you to see us making your trust. We want you to look at all the inventory we got, all the action that's going on over here, and it is nonstop from in the morning when the guys get here at 5:30, sometime, you know, 4 in the morning, all the way up to 6 o'clock at night. These guys are working very hard to do all those jobs that I showed you on that big map. We want you to see that. So we invite anybody that's on the fence and been wanting a building, I ask you this, what are you waiting for? You wait any longer, the prices are going to go up. Listen, from 5 years ago, if you're one of those people that are procrastinator and you know you want a building and you've been sitting on this idea for a year or 2 years or 3 years, let me tell you something. The buildings 2-3 years ago were at the best that we could do then and giving you the best price then. But let me tell you something, they're more expensive now because of inflation, and they're going to be more expensive in the future. So now's the time to do it. You know, get off the fence and come trust Mallett to do your building. I guarantee you, you're going to be wishing that you did it 2-3 years ago, folks. So if you're on the fence, come give us a call. Ask for me. I'll talk to you. Leah talk to you. Our building specialist talk to you. We want to set your mind at ease, folks, and show you the difference of the quality of a Mallett building versus all of our competition out there. Now let's talk about 3 classic buildings. These are classic buildings. Matthew, Ricky, and James. We're going to go one by one. These are pictures, are not really professional pictures. These are pictures that we have taken off of our job site. Like I told you before, we use company cam, and every person that goes on the job is required to take a certain amount of pictures, videos, so we can assure that we're doing everything that we say we're going to do. For instance, I'll point a few of these out while we're doing it. So when you take this classic building specs in Church Point, Louisiana, you know, this building is a 24 by 20 by 12. It's got a 4 on 12 pitch. The truss spacing's 5 foot. The post spacing's 10 foot. You got one roll-up door, 10 by 10. You got a walk-through door. You got a window. This is a classic building with no extras. Okay. 4-inch concrete, that's 4,000. Everything we spec out is 4,000 unless you're buying a rival, and that's what our competitors do. Roof color's charcoal, polar white, trim color's charcoal, and of course the door is satin white. Let's check it out. So you can see you got the scissor truss. This is showing you the door. Let's see here. Showing you the truss. Look at this big 2 by 12 header. You know, our competitors use a 2 by 8 header. You can see that scissor truss sitting right on there. And then you got 5 foot spacing, then you got another truss. You know, this is just showing you, this is a post and a post, 10 foot. You can see our girts, the 2 by 6s going all the way right there. Now this is when we're gonna pour right before we've already graded this out. We brought it up to grade. We put the 6 mil membrane down, and this is that Mallett cable lock system that I'm telling you about, folks. This is where we take that aircraft cable, and you can see these lines. It goes from post to post this way, post to post that way. We lock it in with a big 5/8 lag screw in those posts, and then we put one diagonal from corner to corner, and then we pour your concrete on top. All right? So what that does is when that wind gets in that building through that roll-up door, if it blows that roll-up door in, it's going to protect it from that uplift. And you'd be so surprised after some of these hurricanes when we went back to these buildings and they haven't moved, folks. Also, you'd be surprised that if people don't use the cable lock system or some type of uplift, that these poles or these posts will actually pull from the ground. And once they get up, they'll start tipping and swaying on you. And then your whole building is out of whack. All right, so we're proud of the system that we're using. Like I said, we are continuously improving our process. All right, this is what the building looks like. Perfect, classic building. You know, classic, you know, maybe a Slabs building, I don't know, but this is a classic little building here. You got one walk-through door, one roll-up door, and one window. All right, now you look at Ricky's building. This is going to be an Opelousas. This is a 30 by 42. Still got a 4 on 12 roof pitch. This one has a wing on it. Post spacing's 10 foot. You got a roll-up door, a little different size roll-up door. So it's 10 wide by only 8 tall. And you got one walk-through door. This little thing's got 5 windows though. So he added more to this building. For some reason, he's got 3,000 PSI. I'm not sure if that's correct. We need to double check that because I've never seen that unless he, you know, unless this was a rival building, or I'm not sure, but we'll check that out to make sure that's accurate. Brown, ivory, brilliant, and polar white. Okay, you can see right here that at this point, we've already got with the homeowner, in this case Ricky, placed the building out, and we're pretty much got this thing framed. I mean, look at the truss system in this thing. 2x12 headers. Our competitors use 2x8, folks. All your truss sits on that top plate, or header, if you will. But you can see this right here is just bracing. That comes off once the metal ridges those sidewalls up. That'll come off. You can see here we got all his windows, so he did put a lot of windows. Now he must have added something. He must have bought a classic building and added him some insulation on this. This is a picture showing how we're going to put the insulation up, and the guys will come back and put window tile. I think you might have a little tape on those. And then as you can see, we're going up with the metal. You can see that wing I was telling you about over there on that side. Nice little building. Now let me point out something to you on this wing. Most of our competitors are not going to have mono truss. See, this is the actual truss that we make here, okay? That truss is also engineered and designed for a load, whereas most of our competitors are not going to give you that. What they're going to do is they're going to just run you what we call like rafters up there, which is going to be weak or you know, not engineered to withstand a load. For instance, you know, when we got that snow last year and ice this year, all that is putting weight on your building. So we recognize that, because back in the day we used to use rafters too. We recognize, like I said, we're continuing to improve our processes. Now it is standard for all wings to have mono truss, okay? So you can see the difference. All down that deal there. All right. So another good point I want to point out right here, because I'm dealing with one of these right now. So a lot of people, you're going to lose a little distance. This is the correct way to put a wing. All right. I see a lot of our competitors that have put a wing all the way up here and make that roof line come here and then like that. That's you may be causing problems later on. It might not leak yet, but I don't like the fact that pitch elevation changed from a wing to the pitch of the roof, and you don't have this drop down. When you do this drop down, we could successfully flash this wall. So we flash it. That's what you're looking at right here. That's flashing. That way when that water runs off of here, it runs in there. When you try to bring that up, and I still see our competitors do this with rafters, they'll bring this up. It's going to give you a little bit more head height underneath there. It might make you happy from the start, but the problem is that's going to be a problem in the future. So we like to drop that down, so keep that in mind. All right, just showing you the inside of the building again. You can see, you know, we're putting, it's kind of a blurred picture. Like I said, these are not professional. This is our field guys. All those 108 jobs you saw earlier, all those guys are taking pictures of everything they're doing. But you could see where, you know, we put 4x4s around your windows and doors if you don't have a post there. Most of our competitors don't do that. Again, showing you the wing, you can see the mono truss, how stout that is. All right. Again, you can see the membrane. We've already brought it up to grade. Cables for the Mallett cable lock, and we're going to pour the concrete. That's the guys actually pouring the concrete there. This customer bought an electrical package. You can see that we're taking pictures of that. Run the MC cable up there. They already starting to use their building. But you can see right here in the electrical package, you can see it's basic. It's not like it's not a house. It's basic electrical. We're going to give you a switch. We're going to give you some receptacles. Whatever code is, every 12 foot, I'm not sure. I'm not looking at it right now. It depends on the parish too. But you can see the basic electrical, and that's a building from afar. Nice little building. Okay, let's look at James's in Ragley. He's got a 30 by 50, which is a very popular building. All these are 4 on 12, which makes me believe that, you know, it was based off of a kind of a rival, but jumped up to a classic maybe. You got, you know, a wing on this one, 2. You got 1 roll-up door. You got a walk-through door. You got 2 windows, 4,000 psi. You got the roof color's black, light stone wall. Trim color is going to be black, and the deal. This is a picture showing the depth that we're going to put your pole, and that is, you know, right at 3 foot. That's our minimum that we do. And so we got a nice picture of that. That's the guy setting the pole. This guy must have bought some post protectors because that usually doesn't come on the classic building, but he must have added that like he added the other stuff. So you can see we're setting the posts. You can actually see the skirt board, how we got the skirt board guard on there. This is the girts. And your skirt board is basically a girt, but it's the bottom, so we call it the skirt board or grade board, however you want to call it. That's going to be where your concrete comes. We got to come in here, grade this out with fill sand, and then come back with some concrete. You know, scissor truss is 4 on 12 scissor truss he's got. And then you're going to see this nice little building. This is some pictures of showing how we grade it. So you can see the fill sand in there, and we're going to bring this up to whatever slab he's got. So this is going to be a 4-inch slab, because if it'd be a 6-inch, it'd be more than, see, this is 3.5 right here. It's a little above 3.5. So we're going right here is where the membrane is, and we poured the concrete. Nice little building, you know, very nice building. Now, that's it for the showcase today on some of them classic builds. I hope it looks like these customers are taken care of and utilizing their building. Let's talk about the Mallett Ambassador. If you want to see a building, if you're in the market to buy a building, we have ambassadors out there that we can set you up with, and you go talk to them, and they can tell you the good, bad, and the ugly, and how their experience was with us. You can actually see the building for yourself, and I think you'll be very impressed once you see a Mallett building compared to all other buildings out there. Really, truthfully, just it's like night and day, folks. It really is. And to me, it's like pressed wood versus real wood, and that's the simplest way I could describe it. But we have an ambassador program out there, and if you have a building and want to become an ambassador, and you want people to go look at your building, and if they buy a building, we'll pay you a referral fee of $200. That's our show today, folks. We really appreciate your business. We'll see you tomorrow.